All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today's Monday, September 27th, 2021. Market's basically flattish to negative here as we look at the SPY intraday, really just kind of chopping around. And that 618 area that I told you about last week has held so far. So this was our breakdown here, or our pivot high rather, on September 2nd. We came down here, made this low, and we've hit the 618, and we're just kind of chopping, really just chopping there, and that's held so far. So there's some developments now that have come to light since really last week and really just over the weekend. There's a lot of things I'm seeing here that suggest this is a rotation, and there's about to be some major moves, some major opportunity here in the next couple of weeks, and I'll explain that a little bit here. But short term right now, market's just kind of holding up. They're consolidating sideways, which is relatively bullish, but the 618 holding for now. And that's not to say that we can't have a little bit of a rollover maybe as we go into October, excuse me. Now, do we take out the low? That remains to be seen, but I do think we have a period of chop here on our hands. And you can see, obviously, the NASDAQ, as we look at the triple Qs here, down a little bit more, underperforming, down 0.75%. And that is, of course, with the higher yield. So what does this mean? Higher yields, well, that bodes well for, the IWM, small caps and stuff like that, and the triple Qs and the NASDAQ tech stocks, high growth. It's a little bit weaker. But why isn't this the beginning of a major rollover? So I talked about we could be rolling over, but why isn't it a major rollover? Let me explain. There's a couple of things you need to look at. We just looked at the IWM, and that is rallying. We look at JP Morgan. That is pushing all-time highs. XLE, this is on breakout here. I have a short-term target here of 55.50, 55.55. Look at the XOP, absolutely melting today, although I do think that stalls out in this area before it moves higher. I think it's a little short-term extended. If we look at the weekly, I tweeted this out. Got the 200 moving average. You did basically kiss it once, but now you're kind of extended going into it. And you also have this monthly here. So it, look at this area here. So it took you a while to break through that. It took you about 6-7 months to break through. You kissed it once, and now you're pulling back. Only 3 months of consolidation, and if you can call it that. So I think the XOP is a little bit premature here, but regardless, still moving very, very quickly. Nat gas as well. Man, we traded this last week with the patrons. It took a nice gain on Boyle. Some of them are still holding, and we're trailing our stop here. So congrats to those who got in on that drop and pop. That was a classic setup. It far exceeded my target, but nat gas just been a house scorching hot right now. And we'll see how that goes. I think there's some resistance around $6, but as of right now, nat gas ripping faces off. But essentially, so if we go back to the spiders here, we look at earlier this year, I was short in March, short in February, and I was making money here, and there was something that didn't feel right. And this was my, one real big miss of the year. And the thing that didn't feel right is if you look at XLF. In March, XLF was, holding up really well. It was moving higher. We had this little pullback here, but other than that, it was moving higher. XLE, kind of same thing here. XLE was actually ramping in March, and then we came in a little bit of pressure here, but those two signals were telling me that there was something going on underneath the surface. It wasn't a broad-based decline. And even though we had, the semis lower, we had the triple Qs getting hit, obviously, there was a signal here that, and of course the IWM, but the signal here was that it wasn't a fully broad-based decline. And that's why the spiders never fully rolled over, is because there was just a rotation going on. It was a rotation, of money, and the higher yield was causing things to hold up. Now we're seeing kind of the same type of deal. We're seeing the yield help stocks, help the Russell 2000, help financials, help energy, and we're also seeing it help Tesla. I just tweeted this out, but if we just flip on some studies here, we're going to look at, so basically here's your blue line here is the TNX, the 10-year treasury yield, and then the purple is the IWM, Russell 2000. If we look at the history here, the treasuries topped out around, March, April, and Tesla, topped out a little bit sooner, but it was in that same wheelhouse. And the same thing with the IWM. Russell 2000 topped out in February, March. Both kind of trading sideways. Now yields put in a bottom in July, August. So has the Russell, and so has Tesla. And Tesla's really starting to rally here. And Tesla actually was a bit ahead of schedule, just like it was back in February, March, or excuse me, January, February. And now all three are starting to move higher. Also, we look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin topped out around the same time yields did. And now, potentially, it put in a low in July, same as yields, and now both are kind of moving higher here. So what this says to me is risk on. So I think short term, we're looking at some type of, markets could be under a little bit of pressure. We are into October. There is a lot of, turbulence that happens or in the fall, but I don't think that we roll over yet. And, the blow off top type move that I've suggested happens may be in play. So we may see a massive risk on move, small caps, Tesla, Bitcoin, maybe even meme stocks. GME's holding up really well here. This is a bullish inside bar. AMC, it's holding, and this is a bullish inside bar as well. So, I mean, a lot of these risk on names might be ready to run for one final move before we, possibly put in the top sometime next year. But, in the near term, we could be under a little bit of pressure. And, there might be some shakeouts and playouts. And, that's how rotation works. Sometimes there's some chop. But, once it settles, I think that, you look at the Russell 2000, that's, any pullback could probably be bought on this. I'll have to see a little bit more, but I do like the Russell here. And I also like yields. So any type of short bond play, a PST, a TBT, I think those are going to be in play very soon. And I've been talking about yields being a play later this year. I've been saying that really since March or April. And it looks like that is about to be on the table now. So we'll probably be looking to get into that exclusively with patrons. So if you're interested in that, come check me out, patreon.com/carnivore trades. Again, we just traded Nat Gas. That one was a real ripper. Some of the members are still holding this and making serious gains. We had Boyle, so some members are up over 30% at this point. Really in just less than a week of holding this thing. So pretty incredible stuff. But if you want to get a part of that, it's only $5 a month. Come check me out. You can always cancel, but I think you're really going to like it, especially if we can pull out some more winners like this. But anyways, guys, take care. We're going to go live today at 4:30, and I'm going to get much more in depth on the markets here as far as my 1 to 3 month outlook. But anyways, guys, take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow.